Hello, welcome back to Rose and Jones. I've got you in my garden today because I get to talk about my favourite flower and my favourite note. It wouldn't be quite right if I didn't have at least one rose in shot, which obviously is this beautiful yellow rose I've got. I had so many roses bloom last week. All my beautiful roses were out in bloom, and this is the only one that's in bloom now. The rest of them have all died. They're rebudding, but they're just not ready for the video, and I didn't want to wait today. I didn't want to wait anymore because my perfume came today. Now ideally, based on the scent of the perfume I'm going to talk about, I would have beautiful pale pink roses in the shot just to, you know, enhance the whole description of this really beautiful perfume. Yeah, you're going to have to excuse background noise because I'm outside and, you know, we're in nature, so it's going to be a bit of noise, but helicopters keep flying over. We have that a lot actually where I am. Chinooks, helicopters, all sorts, so we may get some noise pollution, but we'll roll with it. So today I'm going to talk about two perfumes from the Christian Dior Privee line. They are both rose, they're both dominantly rose, and they're both extremely similar. Now, I already have this one. This one's been in my collection for a few months now. I really do love this one. This one I got today. I was so excited when it arrived because I got this from eBay and I got a really good deal on this perfume. What I wanted to do was talk about the differences between these two perfumes because they're not so similar that they are, you know, depends on your nose. So just explain about what it is I go for in a perfume. Rose is my favourite note, but despite the fact that, you know, I love my rose, I'm also very picky about my rose perfumes. I won't just buy a perfume because it has rose in it. The fact that it's just got to be just right for me. I really can't handle strong rose perfumes. I recently smelt the Jo Malone Red Roses, and at first I thought, wow, this is really beautiful. It's a really strong rose. It's very, very real, you know, a real proper rose in your face rose. But because it was so strong and very overpowering, I couldn't get away from the smell, and I only sprayed a tiny little bit. It was a friend's perfume, and it made me feel really ill, and I just couldn't handle it. And you know, I love rose, but that to me was like a strong potpourri. Can't get away from it, and I'm really careful about, you know, my rose perfumes. I haven't got that many. I've got maybe 5 perfumes that have a top note of rose, so, and they're ones that I really do love. So the first one I got was a Colle Noire, and I heard this mentioned on YouTube, and this was described as a beautiful watery rose, very ethereal, very pretty, and I thought, yeah, that does sound just my kind of thing. So what I did was order a little mini. These are so cute. I absolutely love these. I actually really love the packaging. I mean, I know it's really simple, and when we get into the bottles, which I've shown before anyway, it is a very simple packaging, but it's really classy. I just think these are so adorable. It's literally like a daddy, mummy, and a baby. Yes, I went there, but it does look like that. I just love it. I've got quite a few of these little minis now, and they really are a great way to test the perfume. But they even have the bottle obviously is exactly the same, you know, image as the large one, only miniature. And you get 7.5 mils in one of these little minis, and they're dab-ons. They're not spray. You don't get the spray with these. It is only a dab-on, but they still smell the same. And that's how I, you know, discovered what this one smelled like first. And I did fall in love with it. It's very clean. It's very pretty. It's just a rose that I personally do love. So then I heard about Rose Gipsy, and I just thought, oh, that sounds right up my street. It sounds, you know, pretty, rose, watery, straightforward, you know, delicate. And I thought, I wonder, you know, what's going to compare to. And I went on to Fragrantica, and the notes listed are very, very different, I have to say. But there's only a few descriptions on there, and there was really nobody that could give me an idea of how it would compare to the Colle Noire. So I did actually buy a little mini of Rose Gipsy, which I have got upstairs, but it hasn't got the box with it, so I haven't, you know, bothered to bring it down. And yeah, I have to say they are similar, but they are also different. To a nose that doesn't like anything too strong or nothing too adventurous with a rose, then you will notice a difference. For me anyway, I'm happy with owning both of these. They are both, to my nose, different enough, and both really, really beautiful. So let's just crack into these, shall we? Oh, there we go. They are so well packaged. I just love the boxes. Let's put that back over there. Now this obviously is a huge, I've got big hands, and this is huge. I don't know if you can even get a scope of it. This is 250 mils. Yeah, it's like a big monster size. That will keep me going forever. Whoops, don't lift it up by the lid. They are magnetic, the lids, but they're not strong enough really to be lifted up just from the lid alone. So don't do that. Don't do what I do. And let's open the little mini just because, you know, why not? It's so adorable. We'll just do that anyway. Like little Russian dolls. Anyway, there we have it. They look obviously similar in the bottle as well. They're kind of similar colour. Yeah, they are actually quite similar coloured. Both obviously a rosy pink. Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. So this, as I say, this is a 250 ml. This is the 125 ml. This is obviously the little mini. This is the 7.5 ml. So it's quite a big difference. I think these bottles I have seen online, but not available to buy in a 40 ml, which obviously is a far more practical size, I think, for someone who, you know, doesn't want to buy obviously a huge one like this. And even 125 ml is quite a lot, really. I wasn't planning to get one this size, I really wasn't, but I saw somebody on eBay that was selling this size for a crazy great price, and I just could not let it up. I just thought, oh, this is crazy, I've got to get it because I won't see that again, and I know that this is going to be a perfume that I'm going to spray a lot, so I just went for it and I bought it, and I was so happy. And it's brand new, it was completely sealed in the, you know, original cellophane packaging, so it hadn't been touched. So I think I got a really good deal there, so very, very pleased. So with the notes, so I've got my notes in front of me, I'm going to read them out to you. So the Colle Noire has a lot more notes. It has a lot it's much more complex, and the Rose Gipsy doesn't have as many. It's more straightforward. This one has top notes of lemon and blackcurrant. The heart notes are rose, lily of the valley, peach, peony and raspberry, and the base notes are honey, amberwood, oud, sandalwood, sorry about the road, it's just gotten really noisy again, and musks. And then the Rose Gipsy it doesn't really have heart notes and top notes, it just has 5 notes that all are grouped together. This is really me reading them from Fragrantica, so that's how it's listed it. So I don't know if it's completely accurate, but here we go. So the Rose Gipsy we've got main rose, we've got green notes, dewdrops, spicy notes, and floral notes. So lots of notes. So I think the rose really is the main, you know, the main thing here. It doesn't tell you which kind of rose it is, but it lists it as rose. Okay, let's get into how they smell. So to me and my uncomplicated rose nose, one is much sweeter than the other. So the Colle Noire is much sweeter, and although it has top notes of lemon and blackcurrant, I really can smell the raspberry in this. It smells like a really sweet raspberry. So it's more like drinking a rose and raspberry flavoured, you know, like cordial or something like that, but obviously with the water, it is watery, so you haven't got like a powerhouse. It's not really strong. It's for me, it's perfect. It projects just enough, it doesn't overpower anything, and that's perfect for me. Before I sprayed or smelt Rose Gipsy, I sensed a lot more rose in the Colle Noire. It was more rosy, like that's the note that I could smell. Since getting Rose Gipsy, I'm more aware of the sweetness in this one because I'm comparing them, both of them together. And Rose Gipsy is far more it is just about the rose. It's just a smooth, pretty, Turkish delight kind of a rose. On the first spray, this one is, you get a lot of the green notes. You get the rose, but you get far more green, kind of more bitter, earthy kind of notes. The dewdrop, I think that's just in there to make it sound pretty, but I guess if you add a watery green note, that's really what you get. There isn't any sweetness, I would say, in this, at least not compared to the Colle Noire. Smelling Colle Noire on the first note, on the first spray, you definitely get the sweetness. You definitely get this much fruitier. I can get the lemon and the blackcurrant, which that does disappear, and then it reveals the raspberry. So again, this one is a much sweeter, fruitier rose, and I think it does sit a lot louder as well. I think you'll notice this one more. You'll get more compliments with this one. This one sits slightly closer to the skin. I'm gonna wear it most days. It's going to probably be worn as a signature scent throughout the summer. Probably would have worn it in the spring. It's just a really, natural, simple rose smell, and because of the green notes and without having too much sweetness, it makes it much easier to wear. And for me personally, I love a delicate rose. It's like rose water. Also, I think that on the dry down for the Colle Noire, it doesn't really change too much. It stays pretty much the same as when you first sprayed it. It doesn't really develop. It keeps that sweetness and that fruity, really sweet fruitiness around the rose, which I like that it doesn't change, because the smell that you first have and you love is the one that stays with you. So yeah, this one just pretty much stays the same. I think the rose element from this disappears very slightly on the dry down, and you detect far more of the peppers and the musks, not musks, the spicy notes and the green notes. They become just as strong as the rose, I think. So you kind of get that mixture. I think at a pinch I probably prefer the Rose Gipsy, just slightly, if I had to choose one, only because I think, like I say, it's more wearable, it's more everyday, and it's not too sweet, and it's it's just really more delicate. I think I might actually try layering these two together, because they are different enough, that you're gonna get slightly, they're gonna bring different things, and overall you're gonna get a really, really pretty rose. That's the most important thing. Is obviously, if you like roses, then I don't see how you can go wrong with these two, really, depending on what kind of rose that you love and what you like pairing it with. So again, it's a very delicate, very simple, watery rose. Both of them are, with one with far more sweetness. This is much sweeter. This one's far more natural and green. And that's really the comparisons I can give you, and I really hope this helps anybody else that was looking for either one of these and wondering which one to go for in the comparisons. I think if you're like me and you don't like the strong roses, and you're going to wear rose every day, and you fancy something special, you could get both of them, really, because like I say, they're different enough. But otherwise, I would say that you don't need both of them, and just try getting one of these minis. These are fantastic. These are sold on eBay quite often. But as always, it's always good to test things before you buy them, unless you're like me and impulsive and just get things, then worry about it afterwards. I'm so happy that I got this 250 ml, because I know I'm going to wear so much of this, and yeah, just really, really pleased. So there we are. There's your comparison. I really hope this has been helpful for anybody else looking for either of these perfumes. Let me know what your thoughts are. If anyone's got either of these two perfumes, I'd love to know what you think of them both. If there's any comparisons or anything I've actually left out. If anyone has them, I've left anything out, I'd love to know. I've written everything down I could think of that was different. So I really hope I've covered everything and been as helpful as possible. But that's all. I'll leave you there, and I hope to see you all on the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.